This is Jose Cruz, your host. Today I'm going to show you how we create components such as text box, drop-down lists, buttons inside Formus CMP. For the case of fields, we can have two different types of components, dynamic and static. I'm going to show you how you create both. So I'm gonna start showing you how those drop-down lists look, and I'm gonna show you this on the action form. This form is used to create action buttons. As we can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drop-down lists. This does not mean that inside Formus CMP you have to create 5 different types of drop-down lists. For the cases of dynamic drop-down list, you only create once and change the origin of the data that will be loaded into each one of those drop-down lists. So I'm going to start by showing you the source code which we have in front to create drop-down lists in HTML format. Remember, Formus CMP can serve different source code based on the target device. In this case, we are looking in the HTML source code for web-enabled applications. Formus CMP uses FreeMarker to generate source code based on templates. This template is for creating the component of type list, which is in this case dynamic. Let us recall that FreeMarker is basically a merge tool. So you provide data in a format, and what you get is a mix of those two. In our case, we are using it to generate source code. This is the list source code. We are going to go now and look at how we change the data on these different drop-down lists. Remember, we only have one component of type list, dynamic, and we have different information loaded into each one of them. I'm going to show you how we achieve that inside Formus CMP case tool. So I'm going to go ahead and search for the action form and for the command name field. I'm going to go in edit mode. Here we have selected that is type of list, and we have an origin of this drop-down list, which basically is telling it to load the commands from the platform. These commands are the bridge between the button and your business logic. These commands can be used to do your implementation, put your logic inside, or can be used as a bridge to execute Java code in the backend. You decide how you use it. Now I'm going to show you another of those fields that we were looking on the first screen, and we saw that is type list. So I'm going to go ahead and edit the component. And as you can see, it is type list, And the only thing that changed is the origin of the data of that drop-down list. So in this case, it is a resource. The object is what changed. In the previous one, we were loading the commands. In this one, we are loading the actions. Inside FormuCMP, the actions are the buttons, and the commands is the bridge between the buttons and your backend logic. As I say, you can use this bridge to put your source code implementation directly inside, or you can use it as a bridge to call Java code in the backend. The decision on how you use it is yours. And with this configuration, what we get is a dynamic list component. I'm going to show you a static one now. A static one will be the version, which it's not that static, but in this case, what it does, it is loading data from from a property list. So as you can see, the object is a properties, and it searches for this key inside a property file, gets the values out of there, does a split separated by comma, and you get the different values, and with that you load them into the dropdown. This is the version field. How does it look? This is the version field. So this was read from the property files. This is read from the file system, as well as this. So what I show you is how to create a component, make it dynamic, and how you create another component to read from property files. And with this, what you just saw is simple way of doing things within FormuCMP. We strive for simpleness. We believe that complexity is an option, and we want to get rid of it. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.